I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. You mentioned that David Gergen was a friend of yours. How do you characterize that Mr. Gergen was a friend? What made him a friend to you?
We probably met when he went to the Kennedy School from his job at the White House. And so he was like a professor of practice in the Center of Public Leadership. And then he became the director of the Center of Public Leadership. And that was one of my main interests is public leadership. And we became friends, and from very different backgrounds. I didn't have much of an education, Yale, Harvard, working in the White House. And we became very close friends. And his wife reminded me after his funeral that we would talk every Sunday. And it's like, I know you might have friends or acquaintances you talk to regularly. I didn't even realize that we did that. We'd share books, talk about what was going on in the world. And it was very much a part of my life. And he was a wonderful person.
So he was someone you would communicate with frequently?
Well, if I was bitched out about the government, I'd call David, or we'd be talking about what was going on in the CPL, and we were talking about fundraising for CPL or interviewing professors for CPL, and raising money for fellowships. It was pretty much focused about government public interest things, because that we had in common. He was a lawyer, and I sold apparel. So
would you say that you talked to Mr. Gergen more frequently than you talked to Mr. Epstein?
Oh,
of
yes.
course, prior to you and Mr. Epstein terminating your...
Yeah, I talked to him more regularly. I wouldn't have remembered the repetition or the curiosity. Ann Gergen told me that after David's death, how much he looked forward to our Sunday calls. And I don't know, as you get older, sometimes you look back and somebody touches your life and you don't realize, that you're calling him every Sunday. Because I was just, like you brush your teeth every Sunday, I'd call him or he'd call me.
Apologies, I'm going to switch gears quite a bit here. We were discussing a lot earlier that the property that Mr. Epstein had owned that was, I believe you characterized as adjacent to your property, formerly Jack Kessler's house. When, at any point, did people need to use your gates or go through your property to access that house?
No, the properties weren't connected. There's kind of a woods between them and fields. There was no driveway. They were separate. It would be a struggle to walk between the two on foot.
Understood. Speaking about your boat design and manufacture and boat launch has been mentioned a couple times here today. Did Mr. Epstein ever travel with you or board your yacht at any point?
Not that I recall.
Did Miss Maxwell ever travel with you on that boat at any point?
Absolutely not.
Were there any other boat trips that you and Mr. Epstein would have taken together at any point?
None. I don't think I ever went anywhere on that boat without my wife and family.
Understood. Do you use any aliases or nicknames when you communicate with people you're associated with?
No, less. Sometimes LHW, that's it.
Are you aware of Mr. Epstein having any aliases or nicknames that he would commonly use?
No.
Are you aware of Miss Maxwell having any aliases or nicknames that she would commonly use?
No.
When speaking about your boat, you seemed to be very certain that Miss Maxwell had never taken any type of boat trip with you. Is there a reason why you were more sure about her not attending any boat trips with you?
Because it couldn't be. I'm not sure that. I know that Jeffrey didn't take any boat trips with me. That's for sure. And so I might not have perfect recall, but I'm positive he never took any boat trips. So I'm positive that she never took any boat trips because I only saw her a couple times in my life.
Understood. Are you aware of, let me back up first. Mr. Epstein did a lot of foreign travel. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
That's kind of I want to answer because I don't want you to be tricking me. I thought he traveled a lot. When I thought he traveled a lot, once I knew he was a fraud, I don't believe he traveled at all. I mean, he'd tell me he was in Switzerland, he'd tell me he was anywhere in the world, and I believed him. That son of a bitch could have been in bed. I didn't know where he was calling from.
To the best of your knowledge, he would inform you that he was traveling all over the world.
Oh yeah, I'm in Saudi Arabia working for the king. I'm in Switzerland talking to banks, and I'm really busy and I'm tired, and he'd hang up. So he would reach out to me erratically and sometimes frequently, but I never believed that he said, I didn't if my wife told me she was in Chicago, I would believe it. If my lawyer said he was in Columbus, I would believe it. If I call Matt up, I don't ask my lawyer from Columbus. I say, are you in Columbus or are you, in bed or wherever the hell you are? And I think that was part of Jeffrey's con. And it just grinds the hell out of me that he was so busy. But I don't believe any of it now. I think it was complete bullshit. And it was part of the con.
Understood. Is it fair to say that Mr. Epstein would flout that he had foreign contacts, whether it be foreign dignitaries or, contacts in foreign governments, something to that effect?
Do you mean flaunt?
Flaunt, yes. Sorry, long day.
It's been a long day.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of Mr. Epstein holding citizenships in any other countries other than the United States of America?
No.
Have you ever seen Mr. Epstein possess any other foreign country's passport?
No. Or any passport, including an American one.
If Mr. Epstein was talking about connections he had with foreign nations or entities, is there anyone he would most commonly refer to when speaking to you?
He, over the period of time, mentioned a lot of them, and some he would repeat at some periodicity, some he would mention once, but it's kind of a muddle of, but it was a pretty regular flow,
Was there anyone he mentioned more often than others?
more often. Maybe several times he'd mention the Queen of England.
The Queen of England?
Yeah, the one that died.
Did you ever get the impression that Mr. Epstein was trying to get close with people of power, influence, wealth to better shield himself from any type of scrutiny?
No, it seemed to me that that was the milieu that he operated in. And so it made sense to me, in terms of advice he was giving me, that he was dealing with the most sophisticated people, and they were his clients.
And so, based off that response, would it be fair to say that you would believe that could be part of his con, was touting all of these connections he had all around the world?
As I look back at it today, I'm positive it was his con. I mean, as positive as I could know. I mean, the founders of Google, the President of the United States, the King of Saudi Arabia, go on and on. It was almost, every month I'm off to do this with that, or I'm going here and there. And he was in a trust position, and foolishly, I never questioned. He was just, that it wasn't just, they was bullshitting me, or these weren't really his clients.
And is it your testimony today that if Jeffrey Epstein was enriched by his connection to you, that all of that enrichment was gained through theft, deceit, and or without your knowledge?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Do I know where Jeffrey got his money? I know he stole money from us. I believed he had substantial income from these make-believe clients that afforded him the lifestyle that he had. That made sense to me.
And you got engaged in 1992. Do I have that correct?
September 8th, 1992.
And you were married then in the following year, 1993?
1, 2, 3. That's how I remember that one.
And at any point after your engagement and your ultimate marriage, did you ever engage in any extramarital affair or sexual contact with anyone other than your wife?
No one. Boy, I'm really happy you asked that question.